When my daughter, Isla, started elementary school, my wife, Paisley, began to ignore me. Don't talk to me, it makes me angry. All right then. That went on for 3 years until one day I moved out on my own. Then I got a call from Paisley. My name is Mateo Reynolds. I'm a 36-year-old office worker employed at a manufacturing company. Paisley, my wife, was a colleague at the company, and after dating for about a year, we got married. Soon after, our daughter, Isla, was born, and I was happy. But when Isla started elementary school, Paisley began to ignore me. Hey, I bought dinner, want to eat together? Even when I asked, Paisley just gave me a blank look and didn't answer. Paisley, did I do something wrong? If I did something you didn't like, please tell me. Then, Paisley glared at me and unusually opened her mouth. You've been annoying from the start. Your voice makes me angry, so please don't talk to me. Her gaze was so cold that I was at a loss for words. All right then. Hey Mom, did you hear something just now? I didn't hear anything. Right. I was shocked by that conversation. One day, the two of them were preparing for a trip. I'm excited. I wonder if Grandma will be happy. Where are you two going? But as usual, they completely ignored my question and even my existence and left looking happy. At that moment, I made up my mind. I'll move out. 2 days later, I received a phone call from Paisley, who had apparently returned from a trip. Why is the house empty? Oh, because I moved out. I had found a place the next day and moved my stuff out. They must have been surprised, because it seemed like you and Isla didn't need me. What is that supposed to mean? Because it's been 3 years since you guys started treating me like I don't exist, so you just move out suddenly. Because the house was too big for just me. What? We're here, aren't we? Paisley raised her voice in anger. You guys don't want to live with me, right? Then that house is unnecessary. Paisley couldn't believe that I, who usually apologizes right away, had argued against her. What? Unbelievable. Bring everything back now. That's impossible. It was a rental in my name, and I didn't renew the lease. No way, you're kidding. I put all of your stuff in the trunk room, and you can move wherever you want. Does that mean we're homeless now? Suddenly, Paisley's voice cracked over the phone. We can't live like this. Are you telling me and Isla to be out on the streets? Why? I thought you said it was no problem without me. Paisley was at a loss for words to my question. Well, that settles it then. Wait a minute. It seemed Paisley came back to her senses, screaming over the phone. What are you thinking? This is way too selfish. Selfish. Seems like you're the one being selfish here. When I said that in dismay, Paisley yelled even louder. It's obviously you. What about me and Isla? If Isla said she's better off without me, doesn't that solve everything? What? Taking a child's words seriously is the worst. At Paisley's words, I couldn't help but sigh. You've been ignoring me, and you said you get angry when I talk to you. I didn't say that. Yes, you did. I did not. Lying now, what are you trying to achieve? Paisley sounded furiously angry, making a reasonable conversation impossible. I'm not lying. And it's a fact you've been ignoring me all this time. I just didn't hear you. You were talking to Isla just fine, so that excuse doesn't work. I pressed on, and I could hear Paisley clicking her tongue loudly. Anyway, let's talk this through. You're misunderstanding something. There's been no misunderstanding. I'm more comfortable being alone than being ignored. Stop it. There you go again, saying whatever you want. Who's being selfish now? I thought, as anger bubbled up inside me. My coworkers told me something that really woke me up. I'd been trying so hard to get your feelings back, but to you guys, I wasn't the one. What are you talking about? You're a husband and a father. You have a duty to support me and Isla. Is someone who neglects their household duties and ignores their partner really family to you? Are you talking about meals? Our schedules are different, it can't be helped. Paisley said it as if it was nothing. Her tone showed no sign of guilt. And I did say thank you on payday, didn't I? Monotonously, without even looking at me. Is that how you show gratitude? When I snapped back at her high-handedness, Paisley unexpectedly let out a small, huh. You're not really grateful. You think it's natural for me to provide money, and that's why you acted like that, right? What? What are you saying? Look, we can't live like this. Paisley sounded distressed. Was this supposed to be a guilt trip? That's it, we're coming to you. Give us your address. No way. I couldn't hold back anymore, and retorted strongly. What you need isn't me, it's just my income. Daddy, what's going to happen to us? Why are you being so mean? Look, Isla is saying it too. The first ones to be mean were you guys. When I coldly replied, Paisley's voice, which had been soft like she was stroking a cat, sharpened again. So, is that so? If that's how you're going to talk, then divorce is the only option. What? Divorce? Divorce? Yeah, I was actually thinking of doing that too. When I said that, Paisley gasped in surprise. I didn't want to cause any trouble before, and just went along with what you wanted. But that was a mistake. What? I'll contact you through my attorney afterwards, so don't contact me directly again. Hey, what do you mean? Also, I'll be filing for alimony during the divorce. Immediately, Paisley started yelling over the phone. What are you saying? You said let's get divorced earlier, so it looks like this will be settled quickly. Are you kidding me? You took away the house without permission from your wife and child, and now you want to take money. Are you a monster? Paisley began to scream as if it was her moment, but my heart didn't waver by even a millimeter. If you're going to be like that, I'll be the one asking for alimony, and I'll make sure to get child support too. Paisley rattled on fiercely, but I simply replied, all right, we'll talk more later, and hung up the phone. A few days later, we met face to face, accompanied by our lawyers. You seem pretty well, Paisley said with a sullen voice, dripping with sarcasm. Yeah, I've been sleeping better and eating better since you guys have gone. My response seemed to shock Paisley for some reason. Let's get started then. Paisley's lawyer began, but hearing their claims made my eyes go wide. What? Harassment towards Paisley and Isla? Yes, she is claiming mental anguish. However, she says she would consider restructuring the marriage if the husband is remorseful and changes his attitude. That's not true. When I instinctively interrupted, Paisley glared at me with a terrifyingly angry face. What do you mean? Then, Mr. Lawyer, do you have any evidence of the mental anguish that Paisley describes? Well, this person has been in the way, preventing me from securing any evidence. Paisley dramatically pressed a handkerchief to her face, causing me to chuckle. What? It's all your fault in the first place. I'm the bad one, I see. Please proceed, lawyer. Yes. Take a look at this. What? Here is the evidence of mental anguish that your husband has prepared. What? It was footage of Paisley and Isla ignoring me when I spoke to them. Seeing it, Paisley's face turned red very quickly. Hey. You set up a camera without my permission. This is invalid. Paisley stood up and slammed the table. No, it's valid. The lawyer calmly counted, and Paisley bit her lip in frustration. The footage wasn't just one or two instances. With dates included, it clearly showed this was a regular occurrence. This can be edited with image manipulation. No, we've already checked that. There was no alteration whatsoever. Paisley, unable to come up with an excuse, was shaking. If this is the daily norm, then the breakdown of marital life due to malicious abandonment is sufficiently recognized. Paisley's lawyer looked at her, turning pale. Ma'am, this is not what we talked about. What? I'm sorry, but I must decline this case. Wait, just a minute. Are you trying to smear mud on Dad's face? Paisley started to panic. You're getting paid by Dad, so you should make sure I win. Are you even a lawyer? What is impossible is impossible. The lawyer's response made Paisley's face turn red with anger. So, we'll proceed as per our request, correct? Paisley sulked and didn't respond. Ignored here too. But unlike me, the lawyer won't stop because of that. Paisley sat down and glared at me with furious eyes again. Please sign here regarding. And about the alimony. I have to pay the alimony. What? I looked up, confused, but Paisley seriously said, because I'm a woman. Mom. Her lawyer hurried to explain. What? No way. Alimony is a benefit for frail women, right? That's not correct. Denied by everyone around. Paisley was explained the situation and turned pale. No, I can't pay that. Not that you can't, you have to. Then, I won't divorce. Screaming, Paisley tore the divorce papers in half. Paisley, if we don't get divorced, then no need for alimony, right? I want to divorce. I no longer feel like continuing with you. Don't be selfish. What about Isla? You want to take her father away. No, her father isn't me, I said, and Paisley looked bewildered. What? Too bad. I've already done a DNA test. At my words, Paisley covered her mouth with her hand. Here's the test result. The result must be wrong. I've had another test done. Want to see? Paisley shook her head in response to my words. Why, you have the same blood type. Because at the wedding photos, there was a guy who looked surprisingly like Hyla. I answered, and Paisley held her head. If she was a daughter who loved and trusted me, I might have pretended not to know. I'm sorry, it was just a one-time mistake. It doesn't matter. Here, sign this. I presented the divorce papers again, and Paisley slowly looked up, appealing to me with her eyes. Oh, I'm also canceling the family card. At my words, Paisley looked at me in disbelief. Seriously? You're not family anymore. Seemingly resigned, Paisley filled out the divorce papers and then started to cry. Afterward, having the lawyers as witnesses, I submitted the divorce papers to the city hall and became a free man. For a while, I enjoyed my single life. But one day, I unexpectedly ran into my ex-wife and ex-daughter in front of my apartment building. Ick. Welcome back. Welcome home, Daddy. The two, who had been so cold before, were now smiling creepily. I instinctively stepped back, but they clung to me with those creepy smiles. How do you know where this is? Your mother told us. At that moment, I realized my mistake. I had told my parents about the divorce, but hadn't mentioned the details to avoid worrying them unnecessarily. Unlike you, your mother is very kind. She loves Isla as her granddaughter. I'll tell her the real story next time. I tried to shake them off, but they firmly grabbed my clothes and wouldn't let go. Wait, where are you going? This is where you live, right? I have no intention of letting strangers like you into my home. Daddy, I'm hungry. Ila's whining voice sent shivers down my spine. Honestly, this was the first time I had been talked to like this. Daddy. Creepy. How can you say that to your cute daughter? Paisley raised her voice, but creepy is creepy. However, it seems my feelings are incomprehensible to them. Let's go have something to eat and talk. Paisley peered into my face with a coaxing tone. Thinking it was better than letting them into my home, I headed to a nearby diner with them. Hey, can I eat this? Yeah, do whatever you want. Not hungry. Food doesn't taste good when I have to look at your faces while eating. Taste disorder. Prof. The Mark response truly disheartened me. Yet, Paisley looked at me with the same smile she had when we were dating. Feeling better. What? It's just a fight, and you're overreacting with divorce. I couldn't understand what she was saying, and involuntarily looked back at Paisley seriously. A beautiful wife and a cute daughter, don't you want to take back that kind of family life? What? I also want to live with Daddy. Isla stopped eating and looked up at me with puppy eyes. You're not my daughter, though. Why would you say that? Daddy is Daddy. In front of a stunned me, Isla puffed out her cheeks. That's right, your cute daughter. You forgot we're divorced. So, that was just a moment of confusion, right? Let's go back to being a family again. What? I was so baffled by the lack of logic in her words that I almost got confused. See, I'll let bygones be bygones. Daddy, please. Paisley grabbed my hand, and I shuddered. Now I understood why Paisley had sat down next to me. It was to make sure I couldn't escape. No. Do you want to be reported to the police again? Actually, after the divorce was finalized, I have been talking to the police due to Paisley's repeated harassment. I told you if you ambush or show up uninvited again, a warning won't be enough. Why would you say something so cold to your wife? But Paisley leaned against me. That's because we're divorced. Let's become a family again. Remarriage is easy, you know. Paisley's smile looked like a witch's grin to me. I can live with Daddy again. Yay. Whether Ryla understood or not, she seemed genuinely happy. Paisley, what? I have no intention of rebuilding a life with a woman who keeps cheating. What? Do you want to increase the alimony? What are you talking about? I never cheated. That's when I silently showed her the data on my smartphone. This is Ila's dad, your ex, right? It showed the two of them walking arm in arm towards an entertainment district. Paisley's face turned pale instantly. What is this? When I found out about Ila, I investigated you too. Turns out you've been two-timing me all along. That's not true. And you've been calling men over to the house when I'm not around. What kind of nerve do you have? I sighed and showed her another photo, making her face even paler. You know, you can claim for damages due to infidelity within 3 years of finding out. What? I was kind enough not to pursue this. Too bad. Listen to me. It's not like that. Apparently, Paisley thought she hadn't been caught. Her pitiful, illogical excuses only made me feel more colder. Daddy, don't bully Mommy. I'm not, and he's your real dad. Daddy, be happy you can live with your real parents now. At that, Ila's face turned gloomy. I like the other daddy. I don't like this one. Ila started to cry quietly, and as I patiently listened, I was dumbfounded. You're upset because you couldn't get alimony from me, so your affair partner is giving you the cold shoulder. Idiot. Paisley clung to me with a pale face. Please, at least for this child. You know I have no obligation to care for a child that's not biologically mine. Daddy, I'm not your dad. At my words, Ila looked hurt. That's cruel. How could you say such a thing to a child? It's all your fault. When I angrily retorted to her unreasonable claim, she suddenly covered her face and started crying. Please, help me. What? Talk to your parents about that. I can't. Dad kicked me out. Though, your father, always worried about what others think. If you know that, then help me. Paisley shouted, but I ignored her and sipped my cold coffee. Well, it's getting late. As I glanced at the clock and muttered to myself, Paisley looked at me in disbelief. You. Time to go. Wait. You're going to ignore me after I begged you like this. Ignoring her, I stood up. Daddy. You. Suppressing the urge to yell in anger, I spoke. Do you finally understand how I feel? What? You two did the same thing to me for 3 years. In front of me, both were speechless. Then, next time you approach me, I'll really call the police. I picked up the check and headed to the cashier. Behind me, I could hear the two crying, but it felt deserved. After that, Paisley apparently lived in poverty while supporting her affair partner. Ila, mistreated by her, sought help from her former grandparents but was rejected and became reclusive. I had given up on marriage and was focusing on my work, but recently, a junior I mentored confessed to me, and